I've been working on this for a couple of days, and I finally got this thing beat. And I also just came up with a great idea as to how I can avoid this in the future and others who are watching this. The energy suspension information on this front lower control arm did not give the specifications of the inside diameter of the bores, so I had no idea what size a socket I needed to put in here in order to press the bushing out. So that caused a problem, as you can imagine. I also had to go buy 2 pieces of pipe in order to be able to create a pedestal in order to press the bushing out. So I was going to measure these now that they're out, and then it occurred to me, if I can measure this, I could measure a brand new one. I could go find a replacement part at a local auto parts supply store, take a caliper, measure it, and then that tells me what size basically this bore is. And then I could just take 50 thousandths of an inch less than whatever this measurement is, find a socket close to that, and then that would be the socket that I would use to press out of here. That didn't occur to me until just now, after I've already beaten myself over the head. These prices here, I'm pretty sure the guy gigged me on how one piece is $8.55 and the other one's only 93 cents. You know, first cut is free, second cut's not. I definitely got screwed on that deal. I should have just grabbed the cheaper one, which he probably would have made out on, and I guarantee you that this price is inflated by every bit of $3 or more, just for the aggravation that I gave him. I won't be falling for that again. Bring my own darn saw. So that's the 2 pipes that I picked up for this project, lower control arm of the '88 Civic. And here's the first pipe, and this worked well. This one here slid off, ended up boogering it up pretty good, but it still worked for the second one, so not a big deal. I even had this on the top too, so it doesn't really matter. So I will go through what I used, and I'll also take measurements of these pieces. So this one here was the larger one, inside diameter of, I guess, 1.385. Yeah, so that would go over that like that on the arbor underneath the press. And then I would use, there was a few different sockets I could use, but I used the Craftsman's 15/16, and that just barely goes through. The other thing is that this lower control arm, we're dealing with the driver's side, or the left side, and it goes like this in the car, and the bores that are facing towards the rear bumper are the ones that are beveled. The other side is not beveled, so you're going to want to press. Come on. You're going to want to press from the side that is closest to the rear bumper when it is attached to the vehicle. These 2 bolts here go to the radius arm, and for this one I used a part out of AutoZone's can't really see it on there, but it's, you're gonna have to take my word for it. It's 27023, part number E, and this is the ball joint press. This comes with it's that box over there, but it comes with the big arm and the coil, or the threaded bolt, and then a bunch of adapters, and then 3 of these rings. This is the smallest of the 3 and fits over the top just like that. And you got to make sure you get it just right, otherwise you can screw it up, which you can tell I screwed this one up a few times, but I eventually got it out and I learned from it. It's going to make your life a whole lot easier if you're doing this. So that's what I used for that. For the upper control arm, I took this piece off, and I actually had it sitting on this wood like this, and I hammered out this side when it was on a piece of wood, and so it came out. Now I did that just to be able to, because that's how I buggered it up over here, is that I was using this and it didn't have it set up quite right. Once I got this out and knew which socket I should use, oh, and by the way, before we get any further, I ended up using a Harbor Freight 1 1/8 impact, which, god damn it, come on, which I'm going to take back and get metric instead, because you know I don't use these. And this bore, I think, is probably one or two. Either the bore is not completely circular, it's been kind of egg-shaped, or more than likely this thing has not been machined perfectly to within specs, so it gets stuck. But that is a very tight fit. I would say it's probably a lot less than 50 thousandths of an inch difference. So that is that one. And for this one, I just set it up on here like this. The other side did the same thing, just had the cutout portion of the arbor plate, had this going like this with it down, because you couldn't do it up, it would run into the run interference into the crossbar of the press. But going down in the middle, you could get away with it, and obviously you could just flipped it over and did that side too, so removing it is not necessary. I did it just for being able to not have to focus on one extra thing. It was giving me the fits, because I didn't know exactly what I was doing just yet. So that goes on there, and then I used I think this is a 19. Also Pittsburgh, come on. You can do it, there you go. And that was a set that I bought. And then it'll end up going right through. And that's pretty darn close. That's a good size for that. And I also put it like this, so that it would compress on this middle portion right here first, and that would help kind of break it free, and then eventually it would line up and go through. And I believe both of these sides are beveled. Yeah, it looks like it. Seems to me it looks like maybe one is more beveled than the other. Yeah, I think so. Could just be a bunch of dirt though, don't know. Anyway, so let's now take a measurement of these bushings and see what we have. We'll go with this one first. That came out of there. And we have 1.580 for that one. That'd be the reason why 1.6 didn't work. So 1.580. For this one, we have 1. 1.26. What is that? 4? It's like 4. 1.264. And for our last one, which comes out of the upper control arm, and there's 2 of them. Hard to do all this. We have, well, this flash isn't helping matters. 1.142. Yeah, 1.142. So just take 50 thousandths of an inch less than those and find a socket fairly close to that, and that will get you everything you need to know for the extraction of these bushings. And I wish I would have thought about being able to go to an auto parts deal and just take one of these off the shelf, measure it, and bam, I've got it. But didn't occur to me. It did occur to me to measure the ones that were going in, but that didn't seem to help that much. So got close, but I don't think it's nowhere near as accurate as the actual metal bushing versus the polyurethane. So, and I'll give you a shot of this, which I think I've already got a shot of this on another video that I have not uploaded. I've got like 6 videos I haven't uploaded. But there you can see the radius arm, outer tie rod, and everything else has been removed, brake line and all. So, and the struts already been replaced over there with the energy suspension bushings. That was a PETA. But the rest of this is all going to go smoothly now that I know exactly what to do. I don't see any more issues except for rebuilding the rack. That's going to be a little bit of an issue. So we are done for right now.